Offside by Manu Parejo acknowledgements. To all those who have always believed in me and have always encouraged me to keep writing. All characters are fictional, although some sequences are based on real events. The plot of this novel is completely invented, and some places are recreated from the author's own memories. Offside is the confession of a man who, although he had everything he needed to live comfortably, transformed his life by filling it with sex, lies, infidelities, and lucrative assignments, selling his identity, his body, and his very soul. Introduction. It was his last mission, yet he still followed his ritual. He was naked in his favorite room, on the most privileged terrace of one of the finest hotels on the Costa del Sol, holding in his right hand his finest whiskey, a glass of dark Macallan 1824. The sun caressed his body and warmed the elixir as his gaze remained fixed on the interior of the room. Don Diego was contemplating the naked body of his victim while taking another sip from his glass. He thought back on the hundreds of times he had done this, but this experience would be the last. He slowly rose from the sunbed and walked silently into the room. Laura Brown, the woman lying in his bed, was the wife of one of the most powerful politicians in the Eurozone. She was a simple, noble woman, condemned by her bloodline, her position, and her beauty. After getting dressed, he did two things before leaving. He approached the bed and gently kissed her ankle, barely touching her so as not to wake her. "I'm sorry," he whispered as he said goodbye. The second thing he did was tuck her in carefully, whispering a plea for forgiveness into her ear. He closed the door, adjusted his navy blue Emilio Tucci jacket, and went down to reception to settle his bill and never return again. The sadness in the employees' eyes was visible to anyone passing through the main hall. They were all witnessing the farewell of the hotel's best client for over 20 years. Don Diego was loved and admired by everyone, not just for his generous tips, but for his elegance, his manners, his respect toward every employee, and the mystery that followed him. When he opened the door of his silver Porsche Cayman 718, he looked back and saw the receptionists and some of the maids applauding his departure. From that moment on, many lives connected to him, directly or indirectly, changed forever. The head receptionist was unjustly fired for letting the hotel's best client slip away. The maids had to tighten their household budgets due to the loss of his generous weekly tips. Laura Brown's life was destroyed, and due to the massive social repercussions of that night with Don Diego, she chose to take her own life by jumping from one of the highest bridges in her city. As for him, he sold his luxury car, donated more than 30 tailored suits, and returned to his ordinary life, completely forgetting everything he had done. Only moments before his death did he decide to confess it all. His final wish was for everything to be written in the form of a novel, divided into confessions. I, Juan Jose, his nephew, had the privilege of listening to everything, recording it, and writing it just as he wished. This novel is the confession of a man who had everything, but who caused great harm. The sole purpose of publishing this story is to unmask some people and ask forgiveness from others. It is the story of the man they used to call in the village, the Zuro.